Watch out for that truck.
I feel like I have to watch the same thing over and over. I am going to stab myself in the eyes at some point.
So you have to choose a really long series that just never ends.
Don't say it.
Oh, God. I don't want that.
You're witnessing a real anxiety breakdown.
It's like, why are you doing this to us? Why are you making us suffer?
You can pass if you'd like. You can
I
pass.
can't do it.
You don't have to commit for you for
If we say it, it might become reality. And I'm afraid. I don't want this to be a reality.
I'm gonna say SpongeBob because Nickelodeon's never gonna have
That is good. That's a good one, actually. I tend to look for that whenever I'm forced to watch cable TV, actually.
I mean, they're always airing it, so.
Amazing. Ooh, maybe Steven Universe. I did like that one. I enjoyed it. Oh, or what about being Puppy Cat? That was cute.
Oh, you know
But
what?
it's
I'm
not
gonna
very
change my
long.
answer. Because I could just watch it over and over. Over the Garden Wall.
Oh, that's so good. That's only 7 episodes, but it's good.
No, but I will watch those 7 episodes for eternity.
Yeah, I do it every Halloween too.
I would say.
Keep saying.
Did you figure it out?
No. I have such a short attention span. I don't think I could actually sit down and watch it.
Do you want to think about it? We'll
What
circle
about
back.
Pop Team Epic, since
What?
it's basically a different show every time?
Probably. Maybe that one.
Okay, wait. What about, I know it's not a show, but can't we, watch a category, Ghibli? All the Ghibli movies only? I feel
Yeah.
that should
meant
be
like
fair.
the home shopping
I
network.
could
Yeah.
cycle those.
That should be right? That's
Yeah, all right.
fair? Okay. Okay.
All right, perfect. We'll
Ooh,
take it.
anxiety's gone.
Thank you for your
I can
question.
choose.
Hi, what's your name? What's your question?
I'm Kelsey, and other than the characters you voiced, what are your favorite Chainsaw Man characters?
See, you're cheating because the character I voiced is my favorite. Come on.
Outside of that, I mean, I love Kishibe, I love Beam, I love Himino, I genuinely love all of them, so I'm just gonna rattle off all the characters, but I don't want to get into spoiler territory. In part 2, there's some incredible characters that have been introduced, but Kishibe being older than most of the characters we meet, having a really kind of mysterious backstory and things, he's such an interesting layered character, so I love him.
Murdered us many times.
Yeah!
I love that guy too.
Good times.
Just approach it.
Good times.
I'm gonna say Himeno. I think I'm not. I like her.
I like Aki quite a bit. Now I'm thinking about how Kishibe looks like Mads Mikkelsen, and I'm just having a moment, sorry. I don't know. Do you ever send?
From the characters who have showed up so far, I think Aki is the most bearable to me.
Girl, same.
Honestly, same. How do you deal with Denji in power? No, it's these people.
I don't understand. This is ridiculous.
This is garbage. It's garbage. It's garbage. I actually like power though.
Wait. Would it be garbage? I think it would be garbage. What would she say? Rubbish?
Rubbish.
It's rubbish.
It's rubbish.
Yeah, I think that would be more like her.
All right, well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for your question.
you.
And hi, step on up to the
Trash.
mic. What's your name and what's your question?
My name is Lee, and this question is just for Ryan. Okay, so it's about one of your lines. So when you're
Earmuffs. To anyone
Spoiler
out
alert
there.
if you haven't seen it
when
yet.
Denji was training with Kishibe, what made you come up with a?
So there's this moment where he's beating us up and we're laying on the ground and it was supposed to be just it was this one flap that was open for him and it was supposed to be kind of a I don't remember if he was either done for the day or he was like, oh, that wasn't, no, he was like, that's not so bad this time. You actually got one over on me. And, you're supposed to, be beaten up and have the wind knocked out of you. And our director, Mike, I always try and make him laugh wherever I can, while staying within the confines of the character.
Oh, yeah.
And so much of what I love about him too is he lets us put ourselves into these characters whenever possible, and it just felt like if I were in that situation and someone had just beaten the crap out of me and they're like, hey, you don't totally suck this time, I would just be like, hey.
Let's test that theory later.
All right, hi, what's your name?
Hi.
What's your question?
My name's John, and my question is, was there a character that you guys saw when you were growing up in an anime, cartoon, TV show, where you saw that and you were like, I want to do that?
Spider-Man.
Sailor Moon. I just wanted to be that. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be that. Be that? Yeah.
I also was legitimately like, I hope a radioactive spider bites me and it changes my life forever.
That's the fastest way.
Did you let spiders bite you?
It's great power. Comes great responsibility.
There were quite a few. I'll say that the character that made me want to voice act in anime specifically was L from Death Note.
Oh, yeah.
Oh wait, he's here.
He's here. He sits next to you, doesn't he?
A couple
A
doors
couple
down.
tables around. Yeah.
You haven't said hi to him yet, have you?
Maybe.
Go up to him. I don't know. I grew up watching Digimon, and I was like super into that. Ay.
See?
So yeah.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Thank you so much for your question. Hi, step on up to the mic. What's your name and what is your question?
My name is Alicia, and my question is, based off of what you have read, or based off of how much you've played your characters, what style of music or what artist do you think your character listens to?
I genuinely feel like Denji would just put on shuffle, because I think he is so, everything is so new to him that I feel like he would have, because he's so untainted by cool people listen to this, or this kind of person listen, he doesn't have that fear of the identity association, so I feel like he would be freeform jazz, heavy metal, Backstreet Boys, he'd be all over the map and be like, this is all great! It would be playing out of a speaker while he's taking a bath. Yeah.
Singing along, I assume.
Have you guys heard of Ace of Base? They saw the sign! It opened up their eyes!
We know, Denji, you told us that yesterday. And the day before that. And the day before that. I feel like Aki probably...
What did I tell you about?
Yes! I feel like Aki, to calm Denji and Power down, he probably plays classical, but when he's in his room by himself, he puts his headphones on and blasts Nirvana. Just
He needs to get his anger issues out.
yeah. See, it was the 90s, so most of the emo stuff hadn't come out yet, but if there was MCR then, I'm just saying.
I'm having a struggle thing. There's this one song I keep thinking of, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. I feel like she would be into things like that.
It would just be noise metal.
Yeah. And then to annoy others, play Baby Shark on repeat or something like that. Maybe something else along those lines.
He's just like me, for real, for real.
He's like, it's power, stop! And she's like, I can't, I broke it.
Sing along, Daddy Shark.
Doot, 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 doot.
Slamming his head against
I feel like Makima's just so intelligent. She would like any sort of jazz music that's, for classy people. Or French music.
Either that or Huey Lewis and the News.
Oh, the what?
Jazzy French.
Huey Lewis and the News.
The News. She listened to ASMR, actually. She's been practicing. Yeah. ASMR.
No, you know what? She doesn't even listen to music. She just wears headphones so no one talks to her.
This is true. This is true. Wow, she's so mean. Good question, thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. All right, hi, what's your name and what's your question?
Hello, I'm Ben, and just from listening to other voice actors, I thought of this question, but like, when you first got the role of the characters you're going to be playing as, what was your thought process on how, like, what voice you were going to use for said character? Like, what inspired you to say, like, oh, this is how this character is going to sound?
I mean, the thing I think for all of us, it's not a super far reach from our actual natural sounding voice. I think, you know, part of it is you're focusing way more on the intention and the energy of the character than you are like shifting your sound, because we want as much as we can to make them feel genuine and real and lived in. And like for me with Denji, there's layers of growth that you see throughout. I actually brought it up earlier today to someone that when you first meet him, to me he's like a crumpled piece of paper. You know, he's so low, he is completely unloved, zero education, he is just in pure survival mode. He's literally and figuratively scooped out and is just kind of pressed in the corner, you know, and everything is sharp and jagged and crumply and frayed. And then as he kind of gets let out into the world and finds more of his confidence and personality, the paper kind of like stretches out a little bit more and finds its strength. So a lot of it is about energy and intention and stuff like that for me.
Yeah, pretty much the same. I was kind of going off of remembering my days as a teenager when I was taking myself way, 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 way too seriously. Then just added on, what if I had a smoking habit, and that was basically it.
I knew that she was at least psychotic, so
so you had that down.
Yeah, she's got to have like gremlin in there. I have to like get the rasp going on. But other than that, I also decided that she had annoying little sister energy, and I have about 30 years of experience of that, so I might be overqualified. So yeah, I kind of keep that energy going on with her, and I remember that she is very selfish and very confident in herself and loves the suffering of others. So yeah, just keep that in mind every time I do her, and I just lead with that. And then I'm on Team Kill Denji.
Or the captain, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Anyways, wanna wrestle?
Wrestling the captain of Team Kill Denji?
Okay, you're gonna arm wrestle right now, actually. The table's right there.
Put me right through the table.
Makima's very calm, and she doesn't really let anyone know what she's up to, so it's kind of like, I don't know, I sort of like get into this state of not feeling too much, you know? It's like giving just enough emotion to, you know, get through my message, but also not going too far, so it's a lot of like balancing for Makima, I feel.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. Hi, what's your name and your question,
please? My name is
please?
Justin. My question is, if you weren't doing voice acting, what would you be doing instead, like hobby-wise or whatever you would be doing instead?
I love painting. I like to make paintings for friends and stuff like that. I mean, like, you know, there's no money in that, so I would like have to be somewhere in the woods, probably, just like, this is lovely. But I would love to do that. This is lovely. I also love writing. I would love to explore that more, but I think painting ultimately like just brings me so much peace and serenity.
Well, if I wasn't acting, I wouldn't have come across my other talent, or well, skill, I guess. Which, so I went to UT over there. Welcome, Horns. Yeah, we thoroughly fried rice, didn't we? And I was you know, I was started off as a theater major, and then in the middle of it, I decided to take voice lessons, and they paired me up with a professor of voice who unfortunately is no longer with us, named Nikita Storozhev, and he, very large, very, very Russian man, probably the most Russian man I've ever met, and I've met a few.
From New Jersey, funny enough.
Yeah.
That didn't blow. Wow, that just like,
what? I beg your pardon? What?
Excuse me?
And so it took you know, a lot of training and a lot of disappointment on his end, but he eventually, you know, when at the end, when it was time for me to graduate, after I gave my recital in our final lesson, one of the few times he, you know, in his teaching, you know, the Russian teaching method, there's very little positive reinforcement. But on our last day together, he basically said, "So where you are going to be singing first?" And I was like, "Well, I think I'm going to take a little break from that and focus on acting." And he's like, "Oh, okay. Well, I will just say, if you do not follow this opera, it will be pity." And I could have cried. So if it wasn't for acting, yeah, I would be doing that.
He is a very talented singer.
Extraordinary.
Like, if you go to karaoke with him, he'll sing Phantom of the Opera, both the male and the female parts, and kill it.
And he's so humble about it, so we have to gas him up however we can.
Absolutely.
So we'll see you at the karaoke party later.
Yeah, hell
I'll
yeah.
sign you up in advance.
There is a karaoke thing going on.
I would be doing full-time art on something. I actually do art still, but not as often because I'm really focusing on voice acting. But I am working on a comic with my partner. It's slow moving, so I still need to finish a few commissions and I need to stop accepting them. I feel bad because like they're my friends too, so I'm like, I want to do something for you. But I also take, I think a year to do one, just because I don't know, I put so much detail into things, sometimes I go too far.
You guys are so creative and artistic and ambitious. I would be sleepy. Legitimately, I would be sleepy.
Just participating in sleep studies.
Yes.
That's your new
Sleep
profession.
studies.
There
That
you
is
go.
exactly. I'm contributing to the research and...
I'm actually in the napping club.
Oh, you
I'm an
are?
official
How do I
member.
join?
Yeah. You just show up and lay down.
All right, well, thank you so much for your question.
Or you don't show up and you just lay down, I mean.
Go ahead, step on up. What's your name and what's your question?
Hi y'all, my name is Calvin. Nice talking to y'all earlier. Y'all are great. My question is, with your characters in Chainsaw Man, is there anything about them that you found was like challenging to do?
Yelling lines for me.
Yeah, like technically a lot of the screaming stuff, sometimes it was, for me it was like length of screams. There were a couple that were like 8-second long, like full-blown screams that were just, until you're doing them, you're like, oh, that's, okay, I gas out around here, you know. I think more also just emotionally trying to thread the needle the right way of finding the humor and the weight, because there's so much nuance to the trauma and all of the layers of things that go on, while also trying to be on this kind of like zany adventure. So it's playing that as you know, genuinely as you can. I mean, Denji's like murder scene in the first episode, you know, was an interesting challenge, because you have to make that terrifying and horrible and you know, as real as possible. And I remember going through that with Mike and feeling really like good about it when we finished, and then I walked out of the room and I was like, oh my god, my mom's gonna watch this.
Aki just generally has such a limited range of expression, and so to get across what he's thinking is really challenging to do within those kind of parameters. But you just have to focus entirely on the reality of it and the emotion of it, rather than trying to fine-tune any particular, vocal whatever. So you just have to know what's going through his head and just try as best as you can to express that.
I feel the same way, cause Makima and Aki are similar in that their way of speech is pretty even-toned. They're very calm characters, except when Aki's not calm. But the thing with Makima is she never, ever loses her cool, and that's kind of hard for me. So, yeah, but keeping those subtleties in mind without making the characters sound monotonous, has been an interesting approach. Yeah.
Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question.
I'm starting to get cozy.
All right, hi, what's your name and what's your question?
You look amazing. Yeah. I get so happy anytime I see a violence. No.
It's so funny. You know what it is? There's a Ned Flanders kind of thing to violence feed, and it's like I feel like hi diddly hi, there's
hi diddly ho, Hunterino.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm Jameson, and if I can ask this question, besides any of your 4 characters, who's your favorite character in part 2?
Oh, I don't know. Can we see? We can't talk about part 2 because it's not out.
The new
Otherwise,
a lot of people have only seen the anime for season 1, so I don't know if we can say.
Yeah. I'll just say her.
Her? Ooh. Her. That can be many.
Sparkly her.
I'm gonna say choo choo lava lava me to be.
That's a real deep.
Yeah.
You know.
Were you gonna say something else?
Then I guess for the sake of staying in character, what are your thoughts on Kobani?
Kobani?
Nah, she's a riot.
At first I didn't appreciate her, but then I saw the episode where she was interacting with power, and I see it now. I see it now.
I like her style.
I think she's such a fascinating character because there's still so much mystery surrounding her, and I love the fact that for someone who's so riddled with anxiety, she keeps making it through all of the craziest scenarios.
She's the one who's the most afraid and still somehow making it out all right.
Sarah, isn't that you? You look so afraid of stumbling through anxiety.
That is me.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Zoe, and I was wondering if the people around you or your family made you watch your least favorite anime, what would you say to them once you finish the first episode?
We gotta find out what's your least favorite anime.
My least favorite?
And then
I would say, Mother, why have you done this to me? I don't want to watch this anime.
I don't even think she knows she doesn't know what anime is. She's the one who was asking me, why are you watching this? What is this?
Yeah, neither of my parents really watch it, except for now that I started doing this, which is very kind of them.
My mom has become a big fan of anime since I've started doing this, so it's actually really fun. She watches everything. It's crazy. And when I got Chainsaw Man, she's not a gore person. She does not like violence at all. And I was like, so here's the deal. This one's a little rough. And she came to the premiere at New York Comic-Con when we got to screen the first episode in front of everybody. Murder scene included. Whole thing going on. And I didn't even get to sit with her during the screening because we were just shoved around. We were on stage and they brought us out. And I was like, I don't know where she is. And then we got brought backstage and I got a text message and it was just from her and it just said, I get it and I love it. And she has binged the entire show and she goes around where literally anywhere that she finds a pochita, anywhere she just goes off and it's the most adorable thing.
That's awesome.
So cute.
We call her Chainsaw Mom.
Chainsaw Mom. Heck yeah. My mom would look at Pochita and be like, is that a Pokemon? What is that?
Is that a Pokemon?
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your question. All right, hi, what's your name and your question, please?
Hi, I'm Parker, and I want to know which of your characters would have seen Barbie and which ones would have seen Oppenheimer.
Mine would have seen both.
Makima would have seen Barbie for sure.
Denji would have to steal some money from Aki, and then he would definitely see both.
Yeah. We dragged his ass there,
Yeah.
actually.
Aki was going to see both, but then Denji stole his money, so he had to settle for Oppenheimer.
And then me and Power come back like with all this popcorn and drinks, like spending all this stuff. We're like, that's so good. They were both so good, and you missed it. You dummy, you missed it because we took your money.
Oh, right.
At least mine had decent cinematography.
It's always how you remember the part when the thing happened, or we kind of fell asleep during some of it.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, hi. Step on up to the mic, and there's a little handle on the mic. If you squeeze it, you can pull it down. Yeah, right there. Just give it a no.
I like that you came prepared for battle.
What's your favorite part of voicing your character?
Getting to connect with all of you guys because of it. It's genuinely the most special thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also getting to make my director and also everybody in the room and plus my friends laugh.
Oh, yeah. Nobody makes us laugh harder than Sarah.
Yeah, anytime I step in the booth, it's such a treat.
I love getting able to see all their performances too. Like the nuts or nothing scene was just creme de la creme.
Oh, yeah.
I was literally on my hands and knees after I heard Reagan's part of it, crying.
It's really funny because we almost always finish early, and Mike was like, "Do you want to see this scene?" I was
Yeah.
like, "Yes, I want to see that vomit scene." Like,
yes, it's disgusting. Show it
It's
to
like
me.
it's almost like it's like a merit badge for finishing early. He's like,
Yes.
since we have some extra time, like you want to see the scene that Sarah did? We're like,
Yes. Well, it was kind of a thing too, because there was the scene in the hospital where Aki breaks down crying, and that was, it was a really emotionally involved thing, and that was really rough. But when we got through it, I had to calm down from the crying. But as soon as my breathing was back to normal, Mike was just like, "Hey, do you want to see Power and Denji die?" And I'm like,
hey, it's okay.
yes, I do. So that was a nice little pick-me-up.
and this is why we steal his money for the movies.
All right, well, thank you so very much for your question.
You're welcome.
All right. All right, so we're gonna rapid fire as many questions as we can.
Okay.
I may have to cut the line off at some point, and I apologize. I'll take the heat for that. But if you don't get a chance to ask your question, please go visit them down at their tables, and you'll get an opportunity then. So let's do a lightning round and name and question go.
My name's Moira, and I'm just wondering, in your opinion, what's the most unintimidating devil?
Unintimidating?
The
Like
peanut
that
butter devil.
exists in the show, or?
That exists in the show.
Oh,
Oh, that's in the show?
that's in the show.
Would it be the
Tomato Devil.
Ah,
I
we
got-
would like tomato devil,
I got
right?
that sucker in like half a second.
I wouldn't eat him.
He'd probably be great on pizza.
A lifetime supply of marinara.
Violet's devil, he's so cuddly. He has a constant like ooh face. I don't know, like behind the mask, I'm sure.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for your question. All right, hey, step on up. What's your name and your question?
I'm Blair, and this is Mia, and we're curious, have you ever cosplayed, and if you haven't, what character would you be?
Good.
So I ever since I was a little kid, was always dressing up as different characters. Before I guess cosplay was even like a concept that I knew. I'd go to elementary school dressed as Alan Grant from Jurassic Park, or like I'd dig up dinosaur bones in the schoolyard. I was constantly like, I'm Boba Fett today. The last time I actually really went hardcore on a costume. Has anybody seen Blade Runner 2049? I did the Gosling get up, with my broken nose and everything, and did that whole shebang. That was like a full commitment, had the jacket and everything. But I haven't since then in a while, and I feel like I gotta find something cool to commit to.
Any of you guys play Pokemon Sun and Moon? My roommate and I were Team Skullgrunts one time. We ran around, and we had these little soft, squishy Pokeballs, and we would throw them at people and just be like, "Get the ball! Get the ball!"
That's great.
harassing people was a lot lovely.
I was a menace to my mother. I cosplayed as Sailor Moon. Back then, I wanted to be her. I wanted to be Sailor Mini Moon. I want to be so many
Well, you have a
characters.
sailor costume on.
I know. I love it. But those kinds of things didn't exist back then. Like all they had was like the pink Power Ranger type stuff. I'm like, I don't want to be a pink Power Ranger. I want to be Sailor Moon. I'm just like real sad about it. My mom's like, why can't you just be easy? Like, because I don't. I'm not an easy girl. And so she had to go look up online like the costume. What do you call it? The patterns. And she made it for me at home. And there's an embarrassing Sailor Moon picture of me with like a huge wig that doesn't fit my head. I was so excited, and I made a little Luna P looking Halloween pail out of a purple jack-o'-lantern one. Yeah, I haven't done it since then, but it was good times.
I think the only time I really kind of cosplayed was during NYCC when we all dressed up in our suits.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Last year. But there is one that I might be doing just because I have pink hair now, and I'll just leave it at that. It's one of the characters that I voice, so possibly I have the costume. So
So
sometime
we'll
in
be
the future.
looking out for that.
Yeah, maybe.
Awesome.
Instagram.
All right, so unfortunately, this is going to be our last question.
No.
Is this? I know in the back. I apologize, but again, if you have time to go visit them at their table, you can go ask them your questions. But don't go anywhere because we're going to do a stage selfie in a minute, and I want the people who are still remaining. You're going to be right up front with us, okay? So Spider-Man, go ahead with your question.
My question is, if all of the characters that you voiced met you, do you think that they would like you?
Very last question.
What an excellent question.
That is amazing.
Crushed it.
God, they'd probably think I was such a nerd. But I'll tell you what, I bet you we'd all have a great time playing video games.
Aki would say, clean your goddamn apartment. I'd say, no.
Get out of my house. I think Power would enjoy me because I have a lot of stuff.
You guys would
to
get
give.
along well.
Yeah. It's like my anxiety, having to take medication. She's like, oh my God. You
I feel like a conversation between you and Power would just be like,
like caveman speech.
But they would know exactly what they're saying.
Makima would just be staring me down and
Waiting for you to
judging me
break,
the
yeah.
entire. I'd just be like, I'm sorry, please don't.
She would like just look at you,
She
like
would just look at me
and then like
smile.
look down at your shoes and then back up at you without saying anything and smile.
It would be very uncomfortable. So I'm like, but you're pretty. I don't know.
Thank you so much.
All right, well, thank you for your question. And again, don't go anywhere. Thank you so much for being here. And on behalf of myself and everyone.